If you want to see how I turned my failed smoker recipe into a success, just keep watching. Hey guys, I'm Junie the Orange Huntress, and welcome back to my channel where we bring the hunt home and the wild inside. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever failed at a recipe? Hands up if you have, because that's what I'm going to talk about today. The other day, I tried to make a cream cheese stuffed bacon wrapped venison backstrap, which ended up tasting amazing. I love the recipe and I would totally do it again. However, I have never cooked with a smoker before, and I attempted a beautiful piece of meat in a smoker that I have never used. I did this against my husband's wishes. He suggested that I put a pork loin or some kind of pork butt in there so I could have some practice with the smoker. No. I decided to go all in with a beautiful piece of meat and attempt to prove him wrong. It didn't work. Needless to say, I need some work on my smoker skills, but I'm still going to share with you the recipe that I used and all of the requirements that are suggested for your smoker that I just wasn't able to commit to, I guess. Seriously though, this recipe tastes amazing. Kudos to the chef. I'm gonna leave the link to the recipe down in the description, as well as some of the tweaks because I didn't have all of the seasonings that he used. I would hands down go to this again, even if I don't use my smoker. Let's get into this recipe. 1 onion, 2 packages of thick cut bacon, 8 ounces of mushrooms, a tablespoon of minced garlic, half a cup of chopped parsley, salt and pepper, garlic powder, barbecue sauce of your choice, 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese, and the piece de resistance, your venison backstrap, or 2. I started by frying up 6 to 8 pieces of bacon. You can do it in the oven or you can pan fry it however you'd like to do that. Make sure they're nice and crispy, and reserve 2 tablespoons of bacon grease for when you cook your onions and your mushrooms. Set your bacon aside. Now take your onion, dice it up or chop it, whatever size you want, just so long as the pieces are even, and fry that up with your mushrooms. Once those are almost done, I added my tablespoon of minced garlic. You're gonna need to chop about half a cup of parsley, a rough chop or more of a fine chop, whatever your preference is. I did more of a fine chop because my kids don't love it when they find huge leafy pieces in their meals. Shout out to everyone who's got kids that you're gonna make this recipe for. I feel you. Be sure to pull out your cream cheese so that it's at room temperature. So when you mix everything together, it is a lot easier. I actually popped mine in the microwave for, I don't know, between 10 and 30 seconds just to kind of loosen it up a little bit more. Now that everything is cooked, you want to add your mushrooms and your onions and your parsley and bacon to your cream cheese. Mix that all up. I butterflied my venison backstrap. So what that means is I cut it down the middle so that I could splay it open and put the cream cheese mixture in the interior, like a meat card, shall we say. You really don't want to cut either end of it. It holds the cream cheese mixture together within the backstrap. Once I had that splayed open and laid flat, I added salt and pepper and some garlic salt. There wasn't really any measurements to that. Then you add your mixture to the middle of your backstrap and you fold it up. Now it's time for the bacon wrap. You're gonna take bacon and lay it out horizontally on your table, and you want all your pieces to be touching but not overlapping. You're gonna take your backstrap and place it vertically on your horizontal strips, kind of like how we did for the venison Wellington. I'm gonna link that in the description, or you can click on the card right here to watch that. Take your bacon and you fold it over your backstrap, and then you begin to roll it up into a log. Once that was all rolled up, I set it on my tray to go into my smoker and coated it with my Guinness barbecue sauce. It is our go-to, hands down. Now this is where things fall apart. I had preheated my smoker. I needed to heat it up to 350 degrees, which isn't a problem. My smoker goes up to 400. It's the first time I've ever used a propane smoker before, or any smoker. I was doing some research whether or not I should soak the wood chips before or not. Honestly, that is like a huge controversy. Who would have thought? I just decided you know what, I'm not gonna soak them. So that way I can try out next time actually soaking them and see if it makes a difference. I used some apple wood chips, which is more of a mild smoke flavor, lit everything up and just waited. How long does it take to heat a smoker? 10, 20 minutes. By that time, I was not even ready with my recipe. Goodness. So I checked the smoker. My chips are fried. Black, gone, done. No more smoke coming out. And it's almost 400 degrees. I add some more chips. However, after doing that, I still wasn't quite ready to go. Everything was taking longer. Everything naturally takes longer when you're trying to film and cook at the same time. I go out again to check the smoker. 3/4 of the wood chips are now gone, so I add some more. Finally, I'm ready to put my backstrap into the smoker. It was no longer 350 degrees. It was about 125, and that's where it stayed for the next 40 minutes, between 125 and 150. I didn't know if that was on me or if my regulator had broken. I think that's what you call it. And smoke's coming out of everywhere, the back, the door, and I'm like, is that even normal? I've never done this before. We go the whole 40 minutes with the smoke, and guess what? My meat thermometer is broken. Once we brought the venison in the house from the smoker, I popped it in the oven on broil for about 3 to 5 minutes just to crisp up the bacon because it was definitely still wiggly. And I don't think anyone really likes to eat wiggly bacon. We pull it out. At this point, I am so done. So we feel it. I cut it. It's very, very red. We figure out that we can save the recipe because really it's not overdone, it's just underdone. I cut the rest of the piece into medallions and I fry it up in my pan with some oil. It is so full of smoke. That's all I can taste. We feed it to the kids anyway, and one of them likes it and Curtis likes it. The rest of us are like, no, we can't eat this. While I was frying up the ones in the pan, I took the second venison backstrap and popped it into the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Pulled that out. It was amazing. It tasted like smoke and everything else that it was supposed to. And since we had so much left over, I had it for lunch yesterday. I'm gonna have it for lunch today. It goes a long ways. So I definitely recommend this recipe because it is phenomenal, but you need to know how to use your smoker before you try this recipe. The moral of the story, use more forgiving pieces of meat when you are learning how to use your smoker instead of more delicate pieces of meat. As well, life in the kitchen is not everything that YouTube makes it out to be. It is not always perfect. It is not always amazing. Things take more time than you think, and you might mess up, but you just gotta roll with it. I would love to show you successes every time I'm in the kitchen or using my smoker or my barbecue, but that's not life. And I am not a trained chef. I am a home cook, as Gordon Ramsay would say, just having fun in the kitchen, making venison meals. Some might be successes, some might be failures, but my goodness, it is gonna be a learning experience the whole way. If you like this content today, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you're actually gonna try this recipe or not. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next Wednesday.